Imagine computer memory, the chips and servers, not made in some huge factory, but actually grown.
Right. We're so used to thinking about semiconductors needing these super clean rooms, tons of energy, rare materials.
Exactly. And the e-waste afterwards is a massive problem. So today we're doing a deep dive into a really interesting 2025 paper by LaRocco and his team. It's called Sustainable Memristors from Shiitake Mycelium for High-Frequency Bioelectronics.
Yeah, our mission here is to really unpack this. It's a pretty radical idea, building computer memory, the kind needed for neuromorphic or brain-like computing, literally out of shiitake mushrooms.
Shiitake, the ones you eat.
Well, technically the mycelium, the root network. It's about bridging bioelectronics with something truly sustainable, scalable, and believe it or not, biodegradable.
Okay, let's back up a bit. The core tech is the memristor, right? What exactly is that again?
So think of it as the fourth fundamental circuit element, proposed way back in '71 by Leon Shua. It's basically a resistor with memory.
A memory resistor.
Its resistance changes based on the history of the charge that's flowed through it. That's why it's so key for neuromorphic computing. It acts like a biological synapse. It learns.
Right. It remembers, adapting its connection strength like neurons do. That's how you get AI that might process info more like a brain.
Precisely. Now, usually making these involves, complex processes, often using things like titanium dioxide or other rare earth stuff. Expensive, energy intensive. But what's wild here is the mycelium, that thread-like network of the shiitake fungus. It already behaves a bit like neurons. It naturally transmits electrical signals.
It does, naturally.
Yeah, and it adjusts its pathways based on stimuli. So the researchers thought maybe we can use this as a platform. It's scalable, grows easily, and completely bypasses those multi-billion-dollar fabs.
Wait, hang on. So the paper describes growing these components on hay and wheat germ in petri dishes.
Yeah, it sounds almost comically low-tech compared to Intel's facilities, right? They use a simple nutrient mix, farro seed, wheat germ, hay, grew the mycelium, and the crucial part, they successfully dried and preserved it. They showed it retains its electrical properties long-term. It wasn't just a wet, living sample.
So it's stable. You could, put it on a shelf?
Potentially, yeah. And the performance wasn't trivial either. In the volatile memory test, think like RAM, this mush restore, as they called it.
Mush restore, I like it.
Hey, yeah. It hit a switching speed of 5,850 hertz, so 5.85 kilohertz.
5.85 kilohertz. From a mushroom, is that good?
Well, it's not competing with cutting-edge DDR5 RAM, obviously, but for a biological material processed so simply, it's surprisingly fast. And the accuracy was solid, too, around 90%, plus or minus 1%.
Okay, wow. So that speed points towards maybe smaller devices, edge computing.
Exactly. Miniaturization, low-power applications, things where you don't need bleeding-edge speed, but value, cost, and sustainability.
And then there's this other angle in the paper that really caught my eye. The environmental advantages aren't just about being biodegradable.
You mean the radiation resistance?
Yes. Shiitake is apparently known to be radiation resistant. That makes this fungal computing suddenly look viable for places like, what? Space. Aerospace electronics.
Think satellites, space probes. Cosmic rays are a huge problem for conventional silicon hardware up there. Shielding adds weight and cost. If your computer components are naturally more resistant, that's a big deal.
That is genuinely fascinating. A radiation-hardened, biodegradable computer component grown on hay. Sounds like science fiction. Now, finding the right computing solutions, especially sustainable ones, it can get really complicated. We know that. But embersilk.com is a great resource for anyone needing help with AI education and integration. Definitely check them out.
Right, and pulling back to the big picture, what this research really does is shift the conversation. We're moving beyond just thinking about rare earth minerals or, complex lab-grown tissues in bioreactors for bioelectronics.
That's like a proof of concept.
Exactly. It shows you can literally grow memory, potentially sensors too, maybe achieving large-scale computation that's low energy, tough, and eco-friendly.
So what does this mean for you listening right now? Well, we might be moving from building computer memory with chemical baths and plasma etching in these ultra-clean rooms to maybe, just maybe, growing the next generation of resilient AI hardware in something like a compost heap.
It's a paradigm shift, potentially.
It really is. And that's the kind of unexpected, frankly, mind-bending science we love digging into here. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please do take a second to subscribe wherever you're listening.
And maybe leave us a 5-star review.
Yeah, that actually really helps us out a lot in reaching more curious minds. Thanks for tuning in.